Hi, my name is Nathan, and this is my project FaceCode. So, like I explained in my application, kind of like the concept behind this is being able to connect and bridge the gap between understanding code and writing code and the stuff that's actually happening to whatever you're operating on. For example, like a linked list, or um, this demo is for a sorting problem. So, I'm just going to go ahead and open. There's currently two kind of parts of the project that are semi-functional to show you. So the first one is the testing environment, and that's kind of like your sandbox. So if I play this scene, you can see here we have this unsorted list, and we can kind of play around with it. So I can try seeing what happens if I move the first item to, for example, the variables, and just drop it off here. And you can see in the terminal, it tells you what that the equivalent of that is in code. And so it's kind of like helping you to solidify that connection. And yeah, so say, for example, I decide to try an approach where I move each item to the variables box, then pull it out and then put the thing that's next to replace that thing and then bring the variables back out. I can kind of play around with different approaches, see what kind of patterns arise in the terminal in terms of code, and just kind of get a better feel for how this kind of thing works. And you can see there's a few different things that you can do. Like you can add a bunch of variables. You can, I don't know, duplicate three into every single box. But yeah, it's still in the early stages, so that's kind of the testing environment. Um, Moving on to the coding environment, this is where you'll kind of start to put that intuition into more uh, I guess like more theoretical applications. So, for example, if you've determined that a pattern where you something like merge sort works, or maybe not merge sort. This is a bit complicated, but something like bubble sort, then you can kind of start to put that into code. So I'm using a drag drop system, which is pretty beginner friendly, because that's kind of where I'm aiming for this to benefit the beginner segment. And yeah, like kind of like it's popularized by Scratch. You can just drag and drop code in the order that you think it should go, and you can put operators, nest blocks. The UI is looking a little rough, but it's in the early stages, so yeah. And then yeah, like I added for loops as well. So if you kind of drag to the very right, you can do a nested double for loop. Kind of cool, and you can also enter like numbers and stuff. And so ideally, in later stages of this project, when you click on, I think, the blue button, it'll run the code, and you'll be able to actually see what it does to this like sample list here. And you can also clear the terminal. But yeah, it's in the early stages. Excited to see where this goes, and I've had a lot of fun developing it so far, and hopefully I'll post more updates. Yeah, thank you for watching.